Hello everybody, welcome back to another Immortal Jellyfish video. In today's video, I'll be telling you some pros and cons of World Zero and if you should play it or not. Yes, this is why I have been gone. I've been playing World Zero way too much in the last like 2 or 3 days. But yeah, here I am and this is why I've been gone. I've been working my buns off to get far enough in this game to make an accurate judgment on things. Also, only a small portion of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if this video's info is helpful or just entertaining to you, subscribe, it's free, and you can always change your mind later. With that said, let's get into today's video. Okay, so right into today's videos, we're going to start off with the pros and cons, but for people who don't have 5 or 6 minutes to watch this whole video, and just want to get a quick answer, my quick answer is the game's free, why not go try it out? If you got some spare time, even if it's just an hour, the game's free, hop in it, give yourself a try, it might be your thing, it might not. But for my people who want some pros and cons listed out for them, here we are going to go. I'm going to try and make this quick because I want to keep the video shorter for you guys, but here we go. Pros. First off, I'm going to go over all of them and then we'll address them real quickly. The pros I have is 5 immersive worlds, very fun gameplay, classes feel unique, great party system, lively world from events, and then random generated dungeons, aka the tower. Now, let's go over these real quick. 5 immersive worlds. All the worlds have their own themes and things. All the mobs kind of are themed around those themes there. There's events in the worlds that happen that are themed around them. And all the dungeons are also themed around them. And they have their own quests, own side quests, and other things there as well. The armor sets typically try to match those areas, I feel, but not 100%. They're kind of random still. Very fun gameplay. The gameplay is super fun. Making reference to Dungeon Quest. Dungeon Quest, when you're a warrior, you melee the mobs and it just feels like you're not supposed to melee, you're just supposed to cast your 2 spells. And I'm not hating on Dungeon Quest, I love Dungeon Quest and I'll still play it, but just being able to chop things up in the game makes things feel more satisfying. Even if you're a mage, you have an auto attack kind of ability and stuff that still does good damage, so you don't just feel pointless when your spells are on cooldown. Next up, classes feel unique. Out of all the classes I've played like 4 or 5 of them, that's not all of them. They all felt pretty unique, they all have their own things. It's not like when you play a dual wielder, you'll get the same experience when you play a paladin, or when you play a sword master, you won't get the same experience you get as a dual wielder. All those classes feel a bit different and they're quite unique, and it makes the game really fun. You're not playing a dual wielder that just has recolored spells when he becomes a paladin, you know, so it doesn't feel like that. And then I'd say any class that's from the 15 or 30, the ones you have to unlock are all viable in game. I just don't think the 3 starting classes are viable. I could be wrong with that. I haven't played the game enough to really explore that. Next up on our list, great party system. So I was worried about the no VIP servers in this game when I first joined. I was like, the game's getting popular with it being free. There's like 50, 60,000 players at a time. How am I going to make sure I'm in lobbies with my friends to play? And my first experience was this, where I decided to drag my sister into Roblox and get her to play this game because she was looking for something MMO-like to play. And it works great. The party system, you just hit tab, go to P for players or whatever I think it is, and then you go over to your friends list and you can just join on any of your friends you'd like. Then you can invite them to a party, and then when you invite them to a party, they automatically get yoinked into all the dungeons you start and everything like that. So party system is A++ in this game. It works great. You can always end up, I've never had a problem getting teamed up with the people I want to be teamed up with. Next up is lively worlds from world events. The worlds feel really lively with these events because you're sitting around, you're doing your quests, you're like farming these slimes or you're farming these red goblins, and you're like dee for a side quest that's just like wants you to kill one too many of something. And then a live event pops. Hey, boom, come here, get this XP from coming to kill this tree or this big goblin or this or that, this boss. And everybody just kind of groups up there. All the people, they group up and they meet up at these world boss objectives and they beat them to get the rewards. You get loot, you get XP, and so everybody meets up, makes the world feel lively, makes it feel like a call to action, like, hey, heroes, come help us with this. Boom, people show up, makes things feel fun. Keeps the world lively, keeps the grind not feeling so bad. Another plus is the random generated dungeon, aka tower. So anybody who's made it to 60 knows there's the tower, and I'm not talking about other dungeons, just the tower. When you go in there, it's randomly generated is how I feel, because if it was set maps, I wouldn't have run into the glitch I ran into today where one of the chunks just didn't load in and it fell off into the abyss of the world. With that said, that means that you can never just know the in-game map. The new in-game map is always changing on you, which allows for better replay. Now let's get into our cons, which are reused assets, short grind to the end game, and boring end game ? And pay to win ? Alright, so let's get into these. Reused assets. So a lot of the mobs are reused throughout the game, especially the magma slime. It's reused in the ice world as an ice slime, I think is what it's called or something. And it's reused even all the way up in the tower. There's a magma slime there. Reusing assets sucks because you don't like to see the same mobs, you don't like to see the same mechanics and stuff. Even some bosses are repurposed, I've seen. With this set, it's kind of sad to see, but what this does is reusing assets allows them to make more stuff for you to do, where if they made more unique stuff, you would get less game to play. So with them reusing assets, it allows them to push more games, and you'll even see this in popular MMOs like World of Warcraft with reused like textures from dungeons or reused cave systems, continuously just shuffled away in different areas of the map to add more game there with less actual work. Which is good, which tells me the developers of this game know kind of what they're doing, because they're re-giving you older content, slightly repurposed or maybe recolored, so that way they can give you more game to play, rather than spending all their time making something new. And yes, it goes back and forth on when you're repurposing too much stuff and not making enough new stuff, it does suck. But so far the game doesn't seem to have too bad of this, because I didn't really notice it until I really started looking. Boring endgame. Now I say this because I know a lot of people complain about endgames and Dungeon Quest. This is boring. It's too grindy. All you do is farm for the same stuff. The endgame right now for World Zero, you go in the tower, you run it, and every time you pick up a chest, boss chest, you have a chance to get a piece of gear that's at one level above you, which in return levels you up. And that goes from level 60 to 75. But if you don't like that, because then basically what it ends up doing is you want to get 75, then you want to farm the legendaries and get everyone at 75. So it becomes very repetitive in the endgame, just like any endgame would be. It's a grind for the top tier people who really want to put in extra time. So it can go either way. Some people like it, some people don't. That's why I put boring endgame as a con, because it kind of is, kind of isn't. I don't really mind it. Next up is pay to win. I keep hearing this a lot. World Zero's pay to win. It's not fun. I don't want to play. It's pay to win. And that's mainly because you can go to the booster and pay to go to endgame. It gives you level 60, unlocks all the worlds, and you're right at level 60, you're at the 5th world. You can go right in the tower and play the endgame. To me, this isn't pay to win, because the game's not PvP based. The game's mainly PvE. Yes, there is dueling, but that's not paying to win because there's no real big reward for it as far as I know. Basically, what I see that is people are just ruining the game for themselves. Instead of enjoying the climb or actually playing the game, they're just skipping to the end, and there's nothing left for them to do once they get done with the tower, where it's not really affecting you. If he pays for that, Jim over here pays for it, and he goes to level 60, and you're here at World 1 farming some boar wolves, you're not affected by what he just did there. He's not ruining your gameplay. So I don't really see it as a pay to win, but I know I keep hearing it from people, so I just wanted to address that as well as a possible con to the game, so you know it's in there. Another pay to win con is the mounts. There's a free mount, the boar wolf, which I'll make a video on how to obtain. It's pretty simple, but basically it's a free mount, and as I got higher level, I learned that the gem store mounts or crystal store mounts are actually faster than your boar wolf. So if somebody pays for that mount, which yes, you could technically obtain for free if you played months on end doing your daily quest, you could technically buy one for free, but if you don't, and you pay for one, you're going to have a faster mount than somebody who just obtained the free boar wolf. With that said, guys, should you play this game or not? 100% think you should play it. I've been loving this game. I've been playing it way too much. It's super addicting. The gameplay's fun. Classes feel different. It's a great game. It's free. And if you got some time and you like games like Dungeon Quest or already something kind of like that RPG, dungeon crawler kind of thing, with some extra open world in this game, definitely check it out. Definitely play it. I think it'll definitely be worth your time and you'll love the game. On that note, guys, see ya. Hello everybody, it's Into the Video Jellyfish, back at it again to close out another video for you. Just want a side note here in case you're wondering where I am. It's kind of like above the map. It's kind of like a secret little area. You go up here, you go in this little cliff right here, and it teleports you up here. Little things like this are throughout the game, honestly. There's little areas you can just climb, you can get out of the maps, you can really just... They really didn't close the worlds off. I don't know if this is intentional to leave stuff like this or not. This one's obviously intentional, but some of the other ones I've been in are not intentional. So if you do play World Zero, or if my information persuaded you not to play it, either way I'll feel like my job was complete, that I gave you enough information to either play or not play. Hopefully I convinced you to play, as the cons to me outweigh the negatives. But yeah, there's just little things that really exploring the maps pays off and gives you these nice, beautiful views. But with that said, guys, I do need to close the video. That's the point of Into Video Jellyfish. So I will see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace out.